Please care about this. My next guest says it is important to keep our military in mind while watching this Trump and Musk showdown play out. Earlier today, he posted this. My next guest posted the following. This is also now an open fight between the commander-in-chief and one of the biggest and most significant defense contractors in America. Our troops and military will be caught in the middle. America is less safe for it. Putin is thrilled and our enemies are celebrating. Paul Rieckhoff joins us, founder and CEO of Independent Veterans of America, joins us. He is also the host of the Independent Americans podcast. Paul, talk to us.
Steph, right now, in 1944, D-Day operations were underway. Right now, American and Allied forces were jumping into Europe, and we had an allied country and an allied force that was taking on the worst enemies that a generation had ever seen. We were united in opposition against our enemies. Right now, we've got the commander-in-chief, the guy who has control of our nukes, in an open public battle with not just the richest man in the world, but a key defense contractor who's got over $9 billion in contracts. It's SpaceX. It's Starlink, which has a contract with Special Operations, with the Air Force to provide satellite support. And they are now in an open fight. Now, I think, Musk should have been reviewed on his contracts a long time ago, especially after he called a sitting member of the Armed Services Committee, Senator Mark Kelly, who's an astronaut and AVET, he called him a traitor. I said at that point he had crossed the line. But this now puts all that at the forefront. Our troops are again in jeopardy. Our alliances are concerned. And our enemies, not just Putin, but around the world, are celebrating.
What do you mean when you say that? Why are they celebrating?
Because America's at war with itself. This is a guy that was standing next to the president just a couple of weeks ago, and they were talking about doing deals. Their businesses and their lives are intertwined, and now they're holding each other hostage. It's kind of like mutually assured destruction politically, to use the nuke context from the 80s, right? If these two go to war with each other, we're all caught in the middle. I mean, our economy is caught in the middle, our troops are caught in the middle, our national security contracts are caught in the middle, and there will be collateral damage. There will be casualties. So I am not cheering about this. I am not popping any popcorn. I'm not smiling. I am concerned about our national security and the deep division that this creates and the distraction that it creates, not just for Trump, but for our entire national security apparatus. We're not focused on the key meeting that happened with Germany today. We're not focused on the momentum that Ukraine's got. We're not focused on China. We continue to be at war with ourselves. And if you think back to the days of Osama bin Laden, this is like a dream for Osama bin Laden, to have us tearing each other apart and to have our president at war with a former ally, a key defense contractor, and someone who also has a massive media megaphone that continues to grow in strength, would have any enemy celebrating.
Can you remind us specifically of how big a role his companies play in our defense? I think people just think Elon Musk, he's the Tesla guy, he's the Twitter guy.
Well, part of it is that we don't even know. I mean, there's Starshield, which is classified, which is some kind of offshoot under SpaceX, which reportedly, also controls some satellites. There are, I think, 7,000 satellites that Starlink is responsible for. And to just put this in perspective, there was some debate about whether or not he could just shut off the lights on Ukraine. The Ukrainians were concerned because they had Ukrainian forces that were dependent upon Starlink to provide internet access in remote places. If Musk wants to shut the lights off on Starlink because he's mad at Trump, what does that mean for our Special Operations Command? What does that mean for the Air Force? This is what Congress and especially the national security leaders and the Armed Services Committee, I think, should be focusing on right now, if not tomorrow. This has our national security at stake. It's making us all less safe, and we don't know how far it goes. So one of the first questions I would be asking is, how extensive are his defense contractors? The public has a right to know. There needs to be oversight, and we need to know if it's putting our men and women in uniform at risk.
He doesn't just do business with the U.S. government. He does business with governments around the world. How concerned are you if Elon Musk is now an enemy of the president, if he's gunning for the president figuratively, not literally, which he seems to be today? How concerned are you with his close relationships with foreign governments? Some are allies, but some are our enemies.
I'm concerned about all of it. I mean, we're always concerned about people's alliances. I mean, this is the danger of President Mayhem. This is kind of the worst of what we could have imagined coming to pass. I mean, we're concerned about the fact that we should be concerned about the fact they're both fighting each other much more ferociously than they've been fighting Putin for the last 6 months. We know about Musk's extensive business operations within China. What about that? I mean, China is the most formidable adversary we have on the planet right now. And if Trump hypothetically wants to flip sides, yeah, we've got a problem here. So I think it's all intertwined in a very dangerous way. This kind of oversight, especially around Musk, is long overdue. And now it's finally come to pass. So this is a time, especially for Republicans who care about national security, to stand up and be counted and say where they stand, because this is much bigger than politics. This is about keeping Americans safe. And I think D-Day tomorrow is a really important reminder of the human cost of division, the human cost of when America is divided, and what can happen when we're united. We're all going to reflect on the tremendous sacrifices and the values that America stands for and should stand for, and those are the values we have to put in front of these guys and all of our country right now.
Paul, thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate it.
You got it, Steph. Thank you.